Happy 4th of July to everyone. My name is Zach Clayton, and I am proud to be joined by Dennis Schroeder from the founder of the Price of Freedom Foundation, Stephanie Samos, my goddess of the great, One Hope Wines, and my brother, Mr. Z. And looks like we're also being joined by Trevor Gibbs, the web detective. Great friend. He just celebrated 19 years of bliss. Of course, his wife just celebrated 19 years of mediocrity, but I mean, it. So
hey, I wouldn't knock it because next year I get a medal.
There you go. There you go. So, but we would like to welcome you to Footprints Forward. This is our show aimed at talking about the very difficult topic of mental health and suicide. At the end of 2020, I came across a statement that read like this: every 11 seconds, someone took their own life. We need to make footprints. We need to keep it going forward because this is just it's not acceptable. So we're going to get started real quick. We've got a great guest and a really good friend of the show. Good friend to the program, and one of our great mission partners, Brian Gibson from Project Diehard, is going to be joining us. But let's start with our real quick introduction. Stephanie, why don't you join us and tell us about you, please?
Sure. My name is Stephanie Samos. What I do is I work with nonprofit organizations and people year-round to assist with fundraising through One Hope Wine. We are a cause-centered winery out of Napa Valley with over $9.7 million donated to date. So what I do is I specialize in fundraising, gifting, private wine events, and wine delivery. And what's great is when you pour a glass of wine or send a gift, it's a really great feeling to know that that bottle made an impact for a nonprofit that's important to you. Zach and I run a monthly show highlighting smaller nonprofit organizations to help them fundraise, but most importantly, to get their mission out there to more people. Thank you, Zach. We celebrated a year, so we made the year mark, and we're moving on forward. I'm also the co-founder of P&S Properties. We're a family-run business that's working to curb the homelessness crisis in our veteran communities. We work with HUD-VASH recipients on housing and are working to build veteran communities and housing while providing support and resources. I wear many hats, so feel free to connect with me through my Linktree. All of my social media is there, and I'd love to connect.
And her Linktree can be found right there, Linktree/Steph Samos. Thank you, Stephanie. I greatly appreciate it.
Happy to be here, Zach. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, and just to let you know, this coming up Wednesday at 7 Eastern, we are going to have friend of this show, co-host of this show, Patrick Myers, who's going to be our beneficiary for all the good things that he's doing in the community. So it's going to be there's going to be a huge Footprints Forward connection there. So Dennis Schroeder founded Price of Freedom Foundation. Dennis, please tell us about that.
Absolutely. The Price of Freedom Foundation is a 501c3 organization that is dedicated to telling the complete life stories of those who paid the ultimate price for our freedom, our soldiers, sailors, airmen, and Marines who died while in military service to our nation. As a veteran myself and the son of a Navy veteran, I know the military life, and I know the sacrifice that people are willing to make. And I just think that it is, we can do better than what we currently do to not just remember the names, but to remember the entire story. So the bottom line is that we want to produce a individual book biography on each person and each family that is willing to work with us, and to tell that story through video as well. And we're also believing that there is value to the veteran to pay tribute to their fallen comrades. So we're currently looking to restructure our website to feature those, where those can be standalone tributes to fallen comrades. So that's what we are. That's what we're due. And we're always looking for folks that want to join us in one fashion or another.
What a great program, Dennis. It really is. I'm so excited that you've joined us as a mission partner as well. So you can support Dennis by simply joining the Community Pay It Forward program. And you get to shop with wonderful people like our next host, Mr. Z from Z World Webs.
I thank you, my brother from another mother. You are the one and only host, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. Oh,
yeah, I don't want that responsibility today, brother.
hey, well, you know what? You're setting up this party, and we're here. And speaking of parties, stay safe and healthy during the 4th of July. And I want to say, let's remember those who have served and be very cognizant of those with loud noises, including our pups. So with that being said, my name is Z, or you can call me Mr. Z. I am a web developer, and I am also a consultant that specializes in helping nonprofits, veteran business owners, and entrepreneurs like yourselves who are looking to announce upcoming events, book online appointments, or perhaps accept donations and accept payments without the use of eBay or Jeff Bezos. I also provide a free consultation to those who are looking to get started on their brand new website, and to those that have an existing website but they're not comfortable with the idea of making changes to the back end of their website, whether it's WordPress, Squarespace, Wix, or code. So with that being said, if you are looking to modify, maintain, develop, or redevelop a custom website that is specifically catered to your needs, well, let's develop a website the world is waiting for. Back to you, brother from another mother. Zach?
Well, you can always get a hold of Mr. Z by going to his website, zworldwebs.com, and just go to the chat section. You can schedule a meeting with him. And believe me when I say this, and I say this only out of experience, go to communitypayitforward.us. You can see some of the wonderful work in a very difficult website, because there's some guy who keeps changing it on him. So, and he does all the wonderful job by maintaining, helping me maintain it and change it up all the time. Great words said there in the beginning, Mr. Z, and we will be talking about the 4th of July and respecting others here real soon. Also joining us today, as we've already talked about him a little bit, great friend, caring guy, Trevor Gibbs. How you doing, Trevor?
Doing very well, thank you. And, as we're on the eve of the 4th of July, happy 4th of July to all those who may be celebrating.
I remember, I think it was last year, you being British and stuff like that, and I remember making the comment to you, with the way that things are going right now, the Brits are probably sitting there going, thank God we lost place. All the political BS going on. They're probably sitting there going, oh boy, we missed out on that one.
Yeah, kind of ducked and dived and weaved and dealed, and as one of my American friends say, it's not a happy 4th of July, it's Happy Treason Day. So maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm not getting into that route, but yes, I quite like the question I had once from wishing somebody I networked with, who said, "Oh, happy 4th of July weekend to you." I said, thank you very much, but we don't have, I won't be celebrating. She went, oh, right. So when is your Independence Day? And long pause, went, well, we don't have one. Nobody colonized us, unless you want to count the Romans. But, that's over 2,000 years ago. I don't think that really counts anymore, does it?
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about Charity Revolution, my friend.
Well, Charity Revolution, like the Web Detective, as it says on the screen, is a marketing arm. I've been a marketer for 20 odd years, so my main passion is always to be helping those nonprofits or people who help other people. And that's why very recently we've been trying to help those veteran-owned businesses or small businesses who actually have a passion to help other people. Because we realize there are a lot of good people out here who just wish to help people who may need that little leg up or a little extra hand to make things happen. So that's where Charity Revolution came along. You know, we are, like I said, a marketing company. The prime aspect was that we created a way for the charity to engage with its local community and its fundraisers. By doing that, you get everybody community and connected on the one device, or the one thing that people can't seem to leave home away, and that's their mobile device. So we found ways to get marketing through that.
You also are the founder of Select Service. Tell us about that.
Services is really the umbrella of Charity Revolution, Data Revolution, and now the Web Detective. One of the things I've realized over the few years that a lot of non-profits and small business need a little extra help in compliance side, privacy statements. And I'm sure this is one that's going to interest you, Zach, which I'm sure you know about, the Privacy Act that's starting as from the 1st of July in Colorado. Did you know that? And people have the right to ask what you do with their data. Everybody's all about data-driven these days. So that's what Select Services is. It's really the umbrella company to hold all the other little subsidiaries, all the other names that you may have heard this go by in the previous years. And I thought it's about time that Select Services was out there as the parent company to provide the services to non-profits or for-profits, veteran-owned businesses, solo entrepreneurs, or anybody else that may need a little bit of assistance.
Well, we thank you very much. So we were talking about the 4th of July. We're talking about everything, and I'm going to bring on our guest now, Mr. Brian Gibson. Hey, Brian, how you doing, brother?
Hey, brother from another mother. Yes, we're here. Still in the fight.
Brian, in the pre-show, you mentioned something, and we need to make sure that everybody understands this. Look, we all like to celebrate. This is a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Well, I understand. It's the meaning behind well, first off, the meaning behind the holiday a lot of times is misconstrued. This is not the day we won our independence. It's the day we declared our independence, not won it. This is the day that we pretty much started the war. So please get that right, because that's a pet peeve of mine. It's like, we didn't win on this day.
Well, again, brother, this was the day we declared. Right?
Yep. So
4th of July, I like to remind people, right, it's the day we declared. But then people stood up and said, "This I will defend."
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay.
This is a day that is very, very hard for you because of PTSD, the loud noises. Look, nobody should be told don't celebrate, but please be cognizant.
Yes, please. Look, I don't go around saying don't do fireworks. Okay, I put in my earbuds. I get my range hearing protection, the big stuff when I go out and do my Second Amendment thing, right? And then I sit there and listen to music and, or a book or something. But yeah, so I don't hear it.
Yeah.
It's not, people say, but you have gone to big fireworks. Yeah, because I've mentally prepared. And when we go to these prepared things for the city or the town, right, we know what's going to be happening. But when the neighborhood starts going off, it takes us by surprise, and it brings that little flashback back.
Right. Well, Brian, tell us about your let's go in steps here. Tell us about your service, and then going ahead and lead it on into why Project Diehard exists.
Okay. Well, my service, United States Army, 26 years, 8 months, 14 days. And everybody goes, how do you know that number? It's on the bottom of our DD-214s. Okay? If I need, I can look it up. They print it out for us. I served as a combat medic and did multiple tours to multiple places. I personally self-medicated with alcohol up into the point where I almost became that statistic. I had a 45 in my mouth ready to go. And then I got a phone call from a veteran that invited me down to a church, and God saved my life. And that led to me beating that demon of alcoholism. Well, I can't say beating. We beat him into submission, but he's still there. Right? And serving and doing that, when I got the phone call from the wife of one of my best brothers, and I'm talking, the colonel can relate, 3 combat tours together, right? That's a brother. When she called and she said, Doc, what do I do? What do I do? And then I asked, well, take a breath. What's going on? Because, we need info. She goes, he's hanging in the garage. That's when Project Diehard was formed. That was the end of 2017. 2018, we got our nonprofit status. We did not ask for a dime until we got that status. We are financially transparent. Anybody, anytime, can request our financial records. I do not take a salary. That's important to me. In my eyes, if you lead a nonprofit organization and you're worried about what's in your wallet, can you worry about your mission? We're not against salaries because we're going to be hiring people for our facilities. Yes, our mission is to bring hope to veterans. How do we do that? By building facilities that a veteran can come for a day, a weekend, a week, a month, up to a year, and get the help they need. Or should I rather say they deserve. Whether it's skill training, counseling, therapy, or transitional housing. That's our mission of bringing hope. We give them a safe, secure place to do it. Let's say we formed in 2018, just started getting going in 19, and then good old 2020 hit. Y'all know what happened then. But during that time, the Veterans of Foreign Wars did a story on me and the mission that led to a news station doing a story that led to what I'm going to show you now. We're going to share a screen. We're going to go over here. Share audio. And there he is. And here we go.
Project Diehard would like to welcome you to Forward Operating Base Rush in beautiful McCann, Illinois. A luscious 20-acre piece of property with a 10,000 square foot building that, once remodeled, will house up to 12 veterans and their families to help them get back on their feet. Folks, this is where your $22 a month is going. Right here in the corner, you're going to see where the Veterans Ranch will have a 4-stall barn and provide equine therapy services to veterans and families staying at Forward Operating Base Rush. Around the pond, there will also be a playground, a generic classroom, a gym, and a pavilion where you can just relax and enjoy the beautiful scenery. Behind the pond are trails There will be a retreat center that can hold up to 24 people for a weekend event. So if you would like to bring your veteran nonprofit out to Forward Operating Base Rush, we just ask that you do not charge the folks staying here for any services that you provide. Here's another beautiful overview of what you'll see when you come in to Forward Operating Base Rush. Whether you want to ride some horses, drop a line into the pond and catch some bass and bluegill, or just relax under the pavilion and enjoy the scenery and alleviate some stress that you might be having in your life, Project Diehard and Forward Operating Base Rush are here to provide those services for you and will be here as long as you need. We thank you for your time. God bless.
Okay, so that is our current project that we're working on. Now, if you notice that layout, it's a nice in a rural area, right? Well, we've been out and about, and I'm just going to share the screen because I don't have a slide deck prepped. I've been a little busy, but add that up to the side. Oh, A veteran living in a rural area is over 20% more likely to die by suicide than their brothers and sisters living in an urban area. Why is that? Why is that? Well, because out in the rural areas, there's no services, or they're very few and far between. Now, we're in Southern Illinois. 58% of Illinois veterans that die by suicide come from Southern Illinois. That's unacceptable, people. This is something that we just released today because every day I get asked, pay me this and we can help. Got it. But people, you got to learn, before you ask us for funds, we work with the blessings we receive. Scripture tells us, be a good steward. So to receive Project Diehard funds, show us you are worth the investment. We do accept in-kind donations. That's a way you can prove your services, your skills, right? And you get a tax break. That, in a nutshell, is the whole mission. Because, brother, I would love to spend a whole hour with you, but praise God, we got to bring back our fellowship breakfast. That's our monthly breakfast where veterans can come and get a free meal. Now, we invite everybody to come because it is a fellowship breakfast, right? So we invite civilians to come and break bread with America's heroes. Show them you care by sitting down, having a cup of coffee, breaking bread with them, talking to them. Hey, history classes, bring them. What better way to learn history than, last month we had a guy from World War II come and get a breakfast.
Wow. And that's important because there's not a lot left.
Well, again, veterans, hey, we're living history.
Yep.
So, yeah, come on down, join us.
What a better way to learn history than to talk to the people who helped to create it.
Oh,
And
yeah.
allow it. That's even a better statement. Allow it.
Okay,
So-
so for anybody that wants to help our mission, contact at projectdiehard.org is where you start. We need volunteers. Okay? Everybody has a skill. If you're willing to give up some time, help out. Irene very well said. We need volunteers. We need specialty people, skills, right? I can't stress this enough. Everybody has a skill. Bring it. You'll see a post on our Facebook page here real soon on our social medias because I'm working on it. More than one time, somebody has said, Doc, Brian, Diehard 6, whatever I go by, you've got to take God out of your mission to get funding. Now, I'll listen to every piece of advice somebody has to grow this mission. Zach can attest to that because we've had some long discussions. But God will never leave it. There are 5 things that are steadfast, and I'm doing my part because I'm the founder and president, and my job is to protect the integrity of this mission. How many veteran nonprofits started with the right thought, and then because of the lack of funding, they took a shortcut, and now they're sold out?
In which, I mean, and that's one of the things is that people get caught up in the whole money aspect and they think, oh my God, if I don't get this funding, I'm not going to be able to exist. This is true to a point, but are you willing to sell out your vision for money? If you sell out your vision for money, you're kind of not in it for the right thing, right?
Yeah, again, 2021, we turned down $2 million. Well, I can't say we, I did. Okay. Now, my board, my team, great people. I love their input. I keep them inputted. I send out emails weekly to my board on, hey, this is what's going on. They're volunteers. They got full-time gigs. My job is to keep them informed on what's going on with the mission. Each one has their own little specialty they bring in, and if I have a question or I need that advice, I send it out. Hey, what do you think about this? I want to hear it. And then when a decision is made, we move. But we had $2 million offered to us from a very well-to-do veteran. And don't ask me the name because I will not give it out. Okay? You got to give up God. You cannot give out a Bible to get this money. I said, thank you. I'll pray for you. Well, when I came back and told my board, I had a board member, you didn't even ask us. I said, you're right. I didn't. Why would I? When you came here, you knew we are faith-based and scripture-led. Was there a discussion there? Well, I can't work that way. You don't listen, blah, blah, blah. He says, I'm leaving. I said, okay, thank you for your time. The whole sad part about that whole thing was he was our chaplain. Okay? I hold no hate or anything towards anybody that come to the mission and leaves the mission. Okay? If you want to help bring hope to veterans, come on. I need your help. But if you come to Project Diehard to get rich, to get famous, 'tis not going to happen. All right, I've got about 5 more minutes.
Well,
Because let's have a discussion. I got a Colonel. I got Mr. Z.
Yeah, Dennis, why don't you go on ahead? And I know that you were the one who was really looking forward to getting Brian on, Dennis. You two have a kinship.
Well, I really appreciate what you're doing, Brian. I'm glad I got to hear a little bit more about it here this morning. I see a lot of areas that I think we might possibly be able to work together. I for the sake of time here, I really think that our time is better spent with a conversation later. Just here for the audience today to say, hey, I recognize from another veteran with another nonprofit that you are doing great work, important work that should be supported. And I hope that listeners, watchers will support you, man. God bless you.
Well, thank you, sir.
Stephanie, you and we have worked with Brian before. I know that we haven't had a chance to talk to Brian, and unfortunately, he's got to be leaving us here real soon. But do you have anything for him?
I love what you're doing. I love all aspects of what you're doing and all the different pieces and how you're including the equine therapy too. Because I, with our family firsthand, have seen so much progress, with animal therapy. But I think that people think that in order to make a difference, you have to send so much money. And I think that that's where people pull back. But you highlighted in the video $22 a month. Do you want to expand on that a little bit just for the audience here on what that does for you?
We always seek grants and other forms of funding, right? But as the discussions I've had with grant writers, grants are not a guarantee.
Yep.
Okay. Pre-show, I told everybody. 2 weeks ago, on the 21st, I was in Frankfort, Kentucky, briefing the Kentucky Veterans Affairs Committee. Right? I got invited by a state representative to come and present our mission and talk about the current state of veteran suicides in Kentucky. Why? Apparently they thought I was an expert. I'm just passionate. But I asked them for $10 million. Ooh, that's a big ask. Yep. And if you don't ask, you'll never get. But relating back to this $22 a month, right? That is the key to our success. $22 a month, how does it help us? Well, you saw that nice video. Well, that $22 a month pays for the electric bill, the water bill, the trash bill, right? The ongoing expenses of having facilities. Everybody that gives $22 a month is a patron. Anybody, anytime can come to a facility and see where their donation is going. That's very important to me. Come and see. But I have a caveat to that. Bring work gloves and muck boots.
I love that.
Okay. Again, my board hollers at me all the time when we do events. You're the founder and president. Look like it, act like it. And I go, look, people, technically I'm a volunteer, right? Because I don't take a salary. I just happen to be the head volunteer. I'd much rather be out with people helping the mission, breaking a sweat and helping them, because I'll never ask anybody to do anything that I won't do or not willing to do.
That's great. Trevor, did you have anything real quick to ask?
Nothing to really ask, but because I think Brian's really covered everything there. But the one thing I would like to share with him, and it is about the monetary side of it. It doesn't run a charity, it doesn't run a non-profit. What runs a non-profit is the one thing that we can all afford to give, and it's time. You know, if
Yeah.
you take that time and dedicate it and you use it wisely, you know, get your gloves on, roll up your trouser legs or your pant legs, whatever you call them in the US, and dive in, do something. That's the one thing that all charities are failing to ask for is, can you give me something and do something? It's not what comes out of your pocket. It's what comes out of your heart.
That is, that, you know, Trevor, honestly, that's one of the better comments I think I've ever heard. By the way, I'd love to be able to use the word trousers, but, you know, I'd get looked at weird. Mr. Z, do you have anything to ask or comment on Brian?
Yeah, I just want to say what a great way to celebrate the 4th of July, Brian. You know, put on your headset, just enjoy the sounds of music and the explosions in the air, and keep it somber, very relaxed, and just declare your independence for this great country. No offense, Web Detective Trevor. And I just want to say, you being able to bring awareness, like Dennis, for veterans PTSD and making sure they're taken care of without just taking the glory of helping the veterans. And there are people that want to say, oh, I want to help the veterans, I want to help, but when it's time to help, where is everybody else? But I think it's great that what you're doing, Brian, and many other people here who want to support our veterans. And there's a quote that I'm not sure who said this. It's better to have it well done than well said. And I think you're doing a fine job, Brian.
Okay.
Hey, Brian, I want you to.
I got one more thing I got to put out before I got to go.
Yep.
This goes out to my brothers and sisters. Stay strong, right? Understand. Probably starting tonight through tomorrow and probably even Wednesday, there's going to be some loud noises. Ground yourself. Know where you're at. We're not in Iraq. We're not in Afghanistan. We're not being shot at. Okay, so stay strong and keep up the fight. Don't give up. On that, brother, thank you. God bless. Remember to like, follow, share Project Diehard 22 on Facebook.
There you go.
Only way we're going to grow. Because I'll never spend $10.2 million on a Super Bowl commercial.
Yeah, well, come on. That's an easy check. All right, Brian, happy 4th of July, brother. Thank you. Keep up the great work, and I'm glad that you were able to join us. We'll talk to you soon.
Yep. Thank you, brother. Bye.
One of the things that I really want people to understand is one of the greatest things about Project Diehard, their FOBs, forward operating bases, is where they're going to be holding, they're going to be housing these veterans, okay? Each FOB is named after someone who lost their life. So there's in that state. So there's a personal touch. And one of the things that Brian didn't get a chance to talk about is the second FOB that they're going to be working on was one of his kids, not his children, but one of the kids that served under Brian. And I know it's very important to him. I know it's very, very special to him to be honoring her because it was really hard on him to lose her. Hey guys, I wanted to bring this up here real quick. First off, I love this quote. This is from a great friend of ours, Irene. We use trousers here because pants means men's underwear. So, you know, and Irene is a wonderful person who's been following us for a while, and she is in Japan, so which is really cool. And you know, she's made a lot of really, really good statements here. We try to always remind people to wear red on Friday. Remember everyone deployed. And there's a reason for that. And I want to bring this up right now. We have American military men and women serving here on our island in Japan, keeping us safe. It's dangerous here in our area. You've got North Korea firing missiles over your head. It cannot be comfortable at all. I mean, so this is something that, everybody thinks that just because we don't have a current conflict going, the world's peaceful. And unfortunately, that's really not true. So, but Irene, thank you very much for those great comments. Hey guys, tell me, and Dennis, we're going to start with you here. Tell me what you thought about Brian and what you think about his program.
Well, I love what Brian's doing. I think that having a place where veterans who are, well, just where they can feel welcome, and that they don't have to be experiencing anything in particular. That if they're in crisis, that there's something that they can get there. I just love the idea of being a place where their brothers and sisters in the service are there to support them, and whatever it means that they need, whether it's just a place to fellowship and to tell war stories, or it's a place where they get counsel and that they can get some practical advice about, how can I rethink my identity so that I can succeed outside of the military, or it's something that's more long term. That they need further assistance. I love that idea, and I'd love to see it become reality, fully staffed and replicated across the country.
Dennis, advice from another veteran holds a lot of weight for a veteran, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean, Patrick can attest to this, I believe, too, that, especially in the years, right after you've separated, I just know that I always felt that there was an understanding when I was speaking with another veteran that I did not feel I got when I was talking to somebody who had never worn the uniform. I mean, that may or may not be true, but that's how I perceived it to be.
Welcome, Patrick. We're just thrilled to death that you were able to join us. Why don't you give us your rundown on what you got going on, please?
Oh, okay. So I am Patrick Myers. I'm the founder of called Esh Global, which is a company where we're trying to find as many ways as possible to be able to get the gospel out to the world. One of those things that we're doing is through Consuming Fire Media, and Consuming Fire Media. What we're doing with that is we're doing a couple of different podcasts. One would be the Pit Men's podcast, which is a men's ministry that is just informing men on how to walk in a godly manner, and just talk about today's issues as far as what's keeping us from doing that, or how we can do it better. It doesn't matter what religion, what race, where you come from. We put all that political stuff at the door. And we just talk just the truth of who God is and how He can inform us and who we can be. The second one is Voices in the Fire, and Voices in the Fire is one that we're going to be launching here in August, and that one's going to be for the community, for them to be able to tell their testimonies on how God got them through different situations where they felt like they were in the fire, and God was able to lead them out. And we have several different other ones coming up. We have a youth-led one that we're going to be doing, where the youth will be doing the podcast themselves, as far as production, every single thing like that. And they'll be able to tell their stories from their perspective on what's going on around them in the schools, what's going on with them, just in their homes, how to actually navigate this world as a teenager when you have the rest of the world pretty much trying to tell them what they should be doing and how they should be, what they should be doing, how to think, how to act, all these kind of things. And then like how to combat that also with how you walk through the Word of God. Finally, I'm doing right now, just launched about a month ago, a month and a half ago now, the Teen Youth Initiative, the Revolution Youth Initiative. And what that is where we come in and we give the teenagers the tools to be able to make an impact in the world around them. I was trained by this program called the Missing Voices Project, which teaches you how to do ministry outside the box and outside the walls of church. And instead of us doing as adults, we give it to the teens and let them figure out what God has called them to be. At 15, it's for ages 16 to 20. And the thing is, at 16 to 20, you're able to have a massive impact on the world if you just know how you can impact it. And I truly believe that those are our future leaders, and they're the ones that we're trained to actually go back and get the ones that are younger, all the way from 9 to 16, train them to be able to train the others. So kind of like a way to pay it forward for those lessons. And also, I am a full-time evangelist. I just tell people about Christ, and that's I wouldn't say that would be the last thing on my list, but that is just my passion, is to tell as many people as humanly possible about the saving power and the life-changing power that Christ can have in your life. That's it. That's Patrick Myers in a nutshell.
Well, looks like you might have a thing or two going. I don't know. So one of the other things that you've got going, Stephanie, why don't you go on ahead and help talk about what we've got going on Wednesday that includes Patrick?
I'm really excited to have Patrick on the monthly show. So Zach and I, we host a community Pay It Forward One Hope fundraiser every single month, where we bring on a nonprofit organization the first Wednesday and the third Wednesday of every month. We go live and, offer a platform for them to really share what they're doing and get the word out, to more people. And that's truly, the platform and what we try to do. We have, alongside with that, a One Hope fundraiser running. So if anyone needs a refill on wine or a gift, they can support that organization in that way. But we're really excited to have you, Patrick. Can't wait to have you on the show to kind of dive in and hear more about what you're doing. So definitely tune in 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will be live on the Community Pay It Forward One Hope fundraiser page on Facebook. You can access that page through my link tree. If it's hard for you to search on Facebook, if you go to my link tree, it's right there at the top, and you can join that monthly fundraising page. And it's also going to be streaming live on Zach's Pack channels too. So you can catch us there and learn all the ways that you can support Patrick.
Yep, you're also going to be able to find it on communitypayitforward.us. Just go to the blog page and it'll be right there. So easily digestible. Stephanie, you and I have talked to Brian before, but what are some of the things that just give us your thoughts on the work that Brian's doing, please?
Yeah, and I think this wasn't highlighted enough today, but he's also supporting the families. It's not just the veteran that he's supporting. And I know this just from our previous conversations, but I think that is a huge piece of what's unique to what Brian's doing, because the families are going through things also. So I love that they're being recognized through his program. Like I mentioned, I think that the equine therapy, the animal therapies are great. I love the coming together for a meal that he mentioned. I think that that's so important to have, like-minded people in the same room to kind of have conversation and show support, share stories, all of that. I just can't wait to see this grow. And somebody else mentioned on here, I'm not sure if it was Dennis, but like see this program grow outside of that area too, and become available in different states. That would be really awesome.
Yeah, I think one of the funniest things about this is he's not even on this program. He hasn't been on the program yet, but boy, JR keeps making an appearance every time we turn around, right? You know, those pipes of his, just talking about the program, you know, JR is another great friend of ours from the Veterans Ranch, another wonderful program that I'm pretty sure that he'll be making an appearance here sometime sooner or later. So
would love that. He's doing great things also. And I love the collaboration with the two of them. I think it's great.
Well, you know, and that's one of the coolest things that we've got going on. You know, we've got Brian working with JR. Brian and Dennis were talking earlier about how they can work together. And, you know, they all work with me and us. And I just think that it's about time that, you know, we put away any competition and we remember there's a reason for this. And that reason is, you know, our veterans. And I think that's something that we, you know, sometimes in the nonprofit world, it's just not done right. You know, you don't need to worry about territories or stuff like that. No matter how many, or no matter what you think your territory is, there are more people out there than you can handle. So let's work together and make sure that we handle those people.
Absolutely. So much room to grow and so many people that we could help, that why not join forces and, you know, help more along the way.
Yeah. I mean, one example is that you and your husband are working towards something similar to what Brian's doing. And there's no competition there.
It's all different area, different things. But hey, I might contact Brian to kind of pick his brain about a few things, you know, as our journey progresses too. Because, you know, we're doing different, but similar things.
Yeah, not only that, you know, once again, it's as long as we talk about pitfalls and we talk about, you know, hey, what did you fall into? What did you fall into? There's really a chance to grow a little bit more. So, but thank you again, Stephanie. Trevor, what did you find? And this is the first time you've been on one of my programs with Brian, but I know that you've talked to Brian before. What are some of the things that really stood out to you?
First of all, it's the passion side. You know that I like to work with people who love to work with people. So
yes.
Anyone that's got a passion and they want to help with somebody and they're not just there, should we say, like the beggar on the corner with a cup. Quite often we hear of the biggest military army around. They're not military, they're just an army with cups and shaking them. The only time we tend to see them is at Christmas. I think people who are doing things during the year, and the thing that Brian's doing is it's not just down to the money. And, you know, just to think about what the issue that we have, the help that we can give and the impact that we can do. And sometimes it's just something so simple. I love the idea that you said, you know, just ground yourself tomorrow. Think about where you are.
Yeah.
It is not X. It's not Y. Consider where we are. It's at a period of time when, should we say, the less informed are being less considerate, and it's not because they're doing it intentionally, it's because they are less informed. But, you know, if we just ground ourselves and just take our way into our own little space, that can help everybody just to become better grounding. You know, we don't need to have any day to just think, oh, this is the day that's going to cause me an issue. No, we should all be doing that every time of the day. It's a very great way.
I think it's such a great point on the grounding. I'm really glad that you brought that up, because you know what? Is it really that difficult to get to know your neighbors and ask them, hey, look, or just let them know, look, guys, we're going to, you know, be doing some fireworks. Like Brian said, you know what? Tomorrow, with the big guys going off, that's something you can prepare for. Go to your neighbors. Let them be prepared. Hey, we're going to be lighting off some fireworks tonight. is there anything that we can do to lessen your discomfort, or do you have a problem with this or whatever? Not all, not everybody likes all their neighbors. We understand that, but still, respect, people. Respect means so much. And especially when our veterans are dealing with something like PTSD. Look, us as civilians, we sure as hell don't know what it's like to have a missile drop right beside us or in front of us, or the pop of a machine gun or anything like that. We don't know what that's like when it's aimed at us. So the respect that you can show your neighbors, it'll just make this day to celebrate, which it is a day to celebrate, makes it mean so much more. Just a little bit of respect for people. Mr. Z, brother man, what'd you learn today?
I learned that we have to keep fighting the good fight. Whether we're doing different things, but we all have the common goal to bring awareness to suicide prevention and doing the right thing for our vets every day and not just once a year. But yeah, just keep doing the right thing and good things will happen. And if you keep doing the right things, good results will come. That's what I learned for today. And it's a project we're dying for.
Yep. Well, as always, brother, I am so glad that you were able to join us. Hey, Patrick, I know that you didn't get to listen to Brian very much, but let me ask you this question. Is this day difficult for you with the popping? Do you have any of that residual feelings from your time served?
No, not me personally. I know a couple other people that do, for various reasons and stuff like that, where it's a really big issue. And the honest part about it is, like, people are letting them off all over the place. So it's one of those things that's hard to do something about. But you can be there for that person that is going through that. My ex was one, actually, that was dealt a lot with that, and it had nothing to do with military stuff. It had something to do with just like stuff that happened where her father had died and stuff like that. So like 4th of July was just one of those things where she just had a really, really hard time with it. And so it's one of those things where you just try to pay attention to what is triggering that person at that time. If you can help take their mind off of it, if you can. There's just there's not much you can do at that time besides just help them get through it, because people are going to shoot their fireworks off anyway. As a community, I think it's a good idea to be able to talk, like, for your community to be able to, especially if you know that that's what the case is. It's a very awesome thing to even be asked if that's going to be an issue, and being considered that it's going to be a thing. That's actually really powerful, because like a lot of times you're often overlooked, especially people that have went to war, especially people that they just want them to be quiet, and they don't want their issues to be out in public. They don't want their issues. That's how the society really treats you. And they feel bad about the things that you're going through, but they don't care to deal with those things that you're going through. And when you can come and do that, like, say, for instance, Zach, if you're one that's like, I know that as a brother, you're going through these different types of things, man. It's a simple just call, man. Hey, you're going to be okay. That right there is simple. It can work wonders. Now, I can't even imagine what it would look like if my community came by and was just like, we're getting ready to set these fireworks off. We want to be considerate about you. Man, just that by itself, man, is a carry. Because when you're going through that portion and you're hearing that stuff and you're transported back to that place wherever you were at, but then to know that you have a community behind it that that realizes that you're being transported, and want to help you. I just can't even imagine what that would do. I'm not in those shoes, so I can't, but man, I can imagine what that would do for a veteran or somebody that had PTSD going through that. So
yeah. Well, again, I want to thank you guys all for joining us. Dennis, please take care of yourself on these travels. You're getting ready to take off, and you joining us for the next couple of weeks are going to be a little on and off. But so when we don't get to see you, you're going to be in our thoughts. You're going to be on our minds. So thank you very much for everything.
Appreciate that.
Steph, you're going to try to join us from the road next week, but we will have to wait and see what it's like. So I do want to make mention that Sarah Kuko is going to be joining us next week. And she's a naturopathic healer. She's got some wonderful things going on. And she's got a way that it can help people relax. So please make sure that you join us next week right here, same place, same wherever you're watching, except for hopefully Stephanie can get attached and she can attach to her channels. But Trevor, thank you so much, brother, for joining us. Patrick, thank you so much for joining us. Dennis, as always, thank you. And Stephanie, I will see you and Patrick on Wednesday. So everybody, please remember, no matter how softly you walk, you always leave footprints. Nobody leaves this earth without somebody caring. Okay? Lives are not better without you. It's just not true. So if you need help, please reach out. Let us try to find someone for you to talk to. Happy 4th of July. Please be very respectful of everyone around you. As Z said earlier, and your animals, okay? Animals go crazy on this day, believe me. I've got 2 dogs that are already driving me nuts with the neighbors. So, but everybody enjoy your holiday. Enjoy the 4th of July. Just do it respectfully. My name is Zach Clayton, and for our entire family here in Footprints Forward, happy 4th of July. We'll see you next week.